Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Matt and this is Code Journey. In today's video I will share with you a use case I had to solve for a client and how to understand the reality of the system and model that into software to ship a solution. Let's get started. Before we start, if you are new to the channel and you want to get better at software development, don't forget to click the subscribe button below to get more content that will help you get to the next level. Okay, so in here we have a whiteboard with some images to represent the reality that we are modeling. So basically we have a company that has an entrance and clients go through it into a waiting room where there is like a queue of customers that want to pay a service, and then we have employees from the company waiting in different boxes to serve these clients and basically charge for their services or do something, administrative task like modify a service or something like that. So basically that's the reality we are working with. What we already have as software in here, the company already has a software for all the administrative tasks, all the services, the work orders, and everything they need in order to charge customers. So every employee in this box has a computer with access to the software, to the system in place. And what we are trying to model in here, what we are trying to solve is the problem of these employees calling the customers on the waiting room in order and basically serve them. So what we want to do, the ideal solution for this actually, if you ever went to a bank or a company or something that has a queue like this, is that you will get through the entrance, then there will be a machine like a tactile panel or something where you put your ID, a way to identify you uniquely, like a document or your client number or something like that, and then you will get a number, right? So that will be like the ideal solution, and then you will see a panel in here in the waiting room. Let's put it in here. You will see a panel that has all the boxes and the number that the box is serving, right? So that will be like the optimal solution that you will see in banks and many places, and then you just will go to the box corresponding that you see on the panel. We won't do this actually because the company is not going to have this automatic machine for now. The idea is to put them and invest in them if everything goes right. They will do it in the next year probably, but for now they don't have that. They have like a manual machine that just allows the client to get a number. Right? So they will go into the entrance, get a number, and then go into the waiting room knowing that they are the number 3, for example. And then they just wait for an employee to call the number 3. So what we want to build in here is this panel. We want to, they already have like a screen, and the idea is to put a program that will show each box and the number they are working with. But the problem we have as the developers of this small panel is that we don't know when this changes, right? So we need to work with that, knowing that our only input, the only way users can input in our system is through these computers. So the employees that are on the company side that have access to the system are the ones that can trigger any event to update this panel and call the customers waiting on the waiting room. Okay, and now let's talk of a way to solve this and how I actually did. Okay, so I just got a couple more images to add into our model because now we are going to focus on the software and not on the business, right? So this is what we are trying to build, and it will be actually very similar to this because they want to have a big portion of the screen for announcements and advertisement and so on. So basically we will have just a portion of the screen in which we can show the number, and then this counter will be the corresponding box in which this number is being taken care of. So how can we model this? The first thing that comes to mind is to actually model the whole queue and having all the clients in here and put their numbers as soon as we know them. But that is actually not part of the software we are going to build for this use case, because we don't need to know the queue, because the input that triggers our software to work is in here, is on the company side, is on the boxes, right? So we actually don't know this part of the model, and it will be outside of the scope of our software solution. It is part of the whole system, and it is important to understand it because that will tell us how to model the software to solve this. So having the machine that gives tickets to the client is part of the system for the company to charge customers, but it is not part of the software that we are trying to build. And this is very important, the ability to separate the whole system from the software that we are trying to build to help and accommodate for this system. In this particular case, we only need to work in this part of the system, in the company side, and to build this panel using basically the data that we have and the software we already have in place for these boxes. So what we need to do in order to be able to show this is to have a collection that can be simply a list or a table or records in a table or whatever, but from a design standpoint, we just need a collection. Yes, this is usually an object. This is how we usually show an object that is a collection, a small object with a connection to all the items in the collection. And basically this will be the boxes, right? All the boxes with employees that will be charging customers. And each box will have the number that they are currently taking care of. So basically that is the same idea that we see in this UI, but taking into the realm of designing or object design or whatever you want to call it. If you want to design this as data oriented, this will be a table. Actually, this will be a table in our SQL database that will have a box and a number, right? A box and a number. That's basically what we will have, and we will have several records, one for each box and the number that they are taking care of that is assigned to a customer, right, at that certain point in time. So this is a way to actually model this, and the triggers and the way this is going to work, we will need a centralized point that will have the latest number, right? Because remember, we don't have access to this part of the system. We don't have access to the part of the entrance where the client gets the following number. We are just in the boxes. We will need a centralized point that has the latest number, right? Latest number. This is like a ticket that every time you get the following number, it will auto-increment. As simple as that. So if this says, and then an employee in this box call this place, they will get the number 3, and this will change and increment to the number 4. And then if the other employee calls this again, they will get the number 4, and then this will be 5, and so on, right? So what they will have, they already have a system, as I said, a program in each computer, and they have a screen for searching the clients and working with all the data for each client. And basically we will add a little panel in here that will allow them to ask for the following number when they finish taking care of a customer. So let's put that. If a customer moves, they get taken care of, they pay the service, and then they leave. And now this box is empty, and they will call the following number pressing a button in the UI, right? So that will go into this centralized place, get the following number, and that will show in here, and it will update. It will update when the user clicks on this button. It will update the UI to show that the box number 1 is actually taking care of the number 5 ticket or customer, right? So it is a little bit messy, but you should have an idea by now that the design is pretty simple, but I think it is a very valid use case to show how we need to understand the system, understand the software and the piece of the system that we are going to solve and how this interacts in the real world. So now we have already the idea of a collection of boxes that each one has a number, and then we have the triggers from the UI, from the employee that clicks on the get next from the centralized place that will give me the following number and update it, and this will update on the centralized panel, right? Every one of these computers will update the centralized panel every time they click the get next button, right? So far so good. That will solve the initial problem. But there is at least one more edge case that we have to think, and that I realized when I was actually designing this a little bit more rough in some paper and putting some drawings together. I realized that what happens when you start thinking of this, right? You go to the bank and you get a number and you see that there are like 15 people in the queue, and you say, oh no, I'm not going to wait an hour and a half in here. I will just go back to the supermarket, get some groceries, and then I will come back to wait for my turn, right? So you go in, you get your number, and then you go out to do something else, and then you come back. Imagine what happens if you do that and then for some reason the queue is super fast and you lose your turn, right? You had the number 15, for example, and then the people in the waiting room have the number 20 and 21. When you come back, you will probably see this in the panel. You will see that they are actually in the number 19 in one of the boxes, and then you will wait and try to go to one of the boxes and say, hey, I'm sorry, I left to do something else and I have the number 15. Can you actually take my request? And the employee will say yes, because they want to take care of their customers. So how do we accommodate for this in the current implementation? We cannot do that because we had only one button for the get next. A way to solve this is to actually allow the employee to handle these scenarios by actually showing an input for a number and another button to confirm. So basically we will say you can always get the next number, or you can get any number that you input in here. So you will be able to actually put in here 15, confirm, and that will update the panel, but it won't update the general place. Remember that we have in here the latest number. So in this case, we won't go to the centralized place to change the latest number, because in no scenario this will modify the latest number. Every time the user clicks on the get next, this will go to the centralized place and update it. But when the user clicks on a specific number to take care of a customer in particular, then this won't update the centralized place, but it will update the panel to show everyone what number is being taken care of in each box. Okay, so this is an edge case that it is good to have a coverage. Of course, after we start implementing and we do the testing and so on, we can see more edge cases. One of the things that we already know, because of the way they are solving this currently, they have security cameras in here that point to the waiting room. So every employee working in here knows when there is no people in the waiting room. So they won't actually click the get next when there is no one waiting. But if they see people waiting in there and their box is free because they just finished taking care of a customer, then they will click the get next and the customer will be called to their box, right? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.